Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Space Weather. I'm your host Dan, aka smAsho. Today we've got lots of things to cover, and it's a YouTube live stream exclusive. So if you've got comments, etc., leave them in the chat, and we may even cover it during the Daily Space Weather video. Let's take a look at the sun here in colorized magnetogram to take a look at Sunspot 2783. It's remained pretty stable here over the past 24 hours, it looks like, and indeed it has. It is alpha class, as we only see a south polarity umbra associated with that sunspot. And we've got some great HelioViewer movies. First, we're going to take a look at stereo A. And if you're wondering where that's located, it's located down here at Lagrange point 5. We've made an image specifically for that purpose to illustrate the location of stereo A. And here we see this coronal mass ejection as well as Mercury in the upper right. We did cover this yesterday, and if you want to see all of our videos, specifically just imagery of the sun, head to smAsho.com. There are now 4 videos on the homepage. And again, if you've got comments, leave them in the live chat. We will display them on the screen, perhaps. And let's just get into some more solar imagery here. Something we typically always do about this time. Here's 304 angstroms. We've got some interesting filamentary activity there in the northwest. Great view of that, as well as a good view of the north solar polar region. Let's move around. Here's 193 angstroms of the exact same area. Interesting to note how different the behavior of the ionized iron is compared to the ionized helium. 193 angstroms is one of the ionized UV emission spectra of iron plasma. And it's a significant coronal hole system there that you see on the left of your screen. We'll show you the magnetograms of that later in the video. Next, taking a look at Sunspot 2783. In the same wavelength. And here's 171 angstroms. We're going to zoom in even closer. First, here's 304 angstroms. Some interesting filamentary activity down there as well in the southeast. Let that play through one more time here. Here's 1700 angstroms, which gives you a great view of the umbra. And you can see it's been quite stable here. No other umbrae, just that one umbra making it an alpha class sunspot. And here's the extreme close-up in 171 angstroms. I'll let that play through one more time here after it repeats. And we will probably put out at least one more video today as well. Perhaps just solar imagery, not sure yet. We might make 2 videos, as there have been some rage-inspiring events kicking off across the nation. Next thing I'd like to do is thank our patrons, the true source of funding for the content. These videos are brought to you in part by our patrons. Please consider becoming a patron and supporting our cause, which among other things is to assist, study, and report on an ongoing formation of a unified theory of physics. You can read all about it at smashomash.com/forum/mission, smashomash.com/forum/mission. Now, today's Smash Light segment is going to be postponed until later. I would invite everybody to, again, visit the website. It's smashomash.com. You can find all our social media links back here. We've got to put some other links in there soon, and we've recently updated the homepage to include smashomash.org presents The Sun, and The Sun Part 2, and The Sun Part 3, and The Sun Part 4. So you can link to all of those 4 YouTube videos right there on the homepage, smashomash.com. If you're watching this video, you are invited. Also visit the other links. Check out the smAsho store and the Smash store. We won't talk about what's in them at this juncture. Also check out smashomash.com/forum. We won't tell you what's there either, although one of the things that's talked about is the liquid metallic hydrogen solar model. Perhaps read about it, as it's becoming less and less plausible that the sun is made of plasma. We are also all over social media, including locals.com, and our locals network there is smashomash.locals.com. We're also on Instagram. Check us out there. We've also got exclusive content on BitChute. If you enjoy the content on YouTube, press like and subscribe over there, press the notification bell, and so on. We're on Facebook. We've got a group there called Entropy Busters as well. We're on Minds.com, and we've been there for years, citing the fact that big tech, it should be called Pig Tech, is defrauding the United States and information itself, which caused us to branch out into alt tech. There's issues going on in Pennsylvania. That's a teaser. We're also on Gab, gab.com/smashomash. It's an alternative to Twitter. And of course, on Twitter, we've also got a Discord page. It's all linked below the video. We typically do stream live to Twitch, thanks to our new followers over there. Twitch.tv/smashomash. Look for more live streams coming there soon. And again, we will probably produce a Smash Light segment today. Not exactly sure what the format will be, so stay tuned to the channels for that. We're not going to talk cosmology today. And let's get on to some more data, such as the real-time solar wind, one of the daily features here in the Daily Space Weather videos. And we see a very low solar wind, especially the speed. We just see the phi angle here moving into the 180-degree area. This all looks like a magnetic connection with that coronal hole. Current solar wind density 7.75 kilometers per second. Current solar wind speed under 300 kilometers a second at 296 kilometers a second. The KP index, a measurement of global geomagnetism at 1, finally coming off of an extended period of largely KP 0. Here is the Geospace magnetosphere movie, showing you magnetohydrodynamic pressure in the geospace around planet Earth. Most of it is in the magnetotail region here. The sun would be to your left. You're looking at an equatorial plane and a meridional plane view. The Earth as if it's been rotated 90 degrees. The left plane looking at the pole, the right plane looking at the meridian, a meridional line. And here are the ground geospace magnetic perturbations. We don't see a whole lot of it. It's 4 hours of data, just like the last frame. And we've got 2 north poles. The South Pole has left the Antarctic continent and is nowhere near the geographic South Pole right now. That's courtesy of University of Michigan. We don't see any major proton strikes, and we don't see any solar flaring. The likelihood of solar flaring is somewhat, there's some likelihood of seeing a solar flare, as that is a significant sunspot despite only being alpha class. There are significant fields associated with that region of activity around sunspot 2783. Here's what's going on above my head. I like to use in-the-sky.org. And it looks like Cygnus is just about to rise. Today's featured star is Procyon. I don't know why. There's no real reason. Next, looking at theplanetstoday.com. This is where planets are located. There's where things will be in a week. And by the way, looking at the sun from Lagrange point 5 shows that it's Mercury that we're seeing there on the earlier stereo A coronagraph images that we showed. Here's the GOES magnetometer information. And we're seeing these continued spikes in the GOES magnetometer as I've forecasted. And it all has to do with some plasma suspension out in the solar corona. Let's have a look at that. Here's the Gong 2 data. It's the top view ecliptic plane field plot. Let me bring up the latest image here. And these features are what are causing that GOES magnetometer spikiness. And until we get past that region, there is still some chance for coronal mass ejections, and we will cover it daily. That's part of the reason why we do the daily space weather videos. We apparently are able to forecast things that nobody else in the world can, otherwise they probably would. Here's the line of sight coronal hole field plot, and you can see significant coronal hole structures there associated with the north polarity shown in green. Here's the line of sight full field plot, which also shows you the sun's polar fields, north in green, south in red. Keep in mind this data is 1 hour and 12 minutes old, and the magnetic environment can suddenly change. With essentially no warning. And let's look at the coronal magnetic field plot. Here is the magnetic field plot of just the corona. It shows you coronal hole field lines in black, closed potential field force lines in pink, and non-polar coronal hole potential field force lines in purple. And let's look at electrons. There's a diagram of what the Van Allen belts are like. And let's bring up the chat here. Nobody's left us a comment. Probably, gee, I find that odd, as we have more people viewing live premieres than we do a live actual stream here on YouTube. I find it odd. And leave us a comment if you know how many viewers are there. I see 9. We don't see charging hazards. Here's a 1-year chart of the greater than 2 mega electron volt electron flux. NOAA is forecasting a slight downtick in the electron flux. I would concur. Here's a 3-day chart. And for you new viewers out there, thanks for tuning in. The M's and N's are midnight and noon time for the GOES 16. Here's a visualization of the total electron content forecast, showing the whole air column all the way to the thermosphere. And thanks for commenting, smAsho staff. And I'd like to thank smAsho staff for all of her hard work. And I'd like to thank our viewers for the well wishes yesterday. Smash staff is feeling worlds better than she was yesterday. Cheers. And we see some anomalies here, and we typically do see this when we see very low levels of electron flux, as we have the last 3 days. And you can see some anomalous electron blobs here at nighttime around the equator especially, but also over North America and Canada. So maybe some unexpected GPS errors happening there in those locations. Next, we'll look at one slice of the atmosphere, just the ionosphere layer. And this will probably look a little bit anomalous as well, as there is obviously a relationship between the electron flux and the ionosphere. Let's bring up the latest image. And there's the latest image at 11:30 Universal Time. Not really looking that abnormal to me. Next, we're going to go over volcanoes of the past 24 hours. Let's see what we've got. And thanks for leaving comments, Sherry Mansfield. Thanks for joining us, as well as Chad Myers. Building a fire. Nice. Excellent. One of my favorite activities, as I am a certified pyro. Volcanoes of the past 24 include Kluchevskoy, which has upticked a little bit there. It's now producing a 23,000-foot high ash plume. Suwanosejima, flight level 040, a 4,000-foot ash plume there. Kadavar back on the list as it explodes and produces a 3,000-foot plume of volcanic ash. Cinnabung now on the list. A particularly deadly volcano in the past couple of years is producing a 12,000-foot ash plume. Effusive explosive eruptions at Semaru, as well as lava flows. That eruption producing a 12,000-foot plume of ash. Please don't hang glide over the caldera. White Island is now producing an ash plume. Yes. So an uptick at White Island. Also elevated levels of volcanic gases in the plume, including carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide. Although no new magma is present, apparently. Sangay exploding, flight level 200, that's 20,000-foot ash plume there. Volcanic ash not seen in satellite at Revenador. Please don't attempt to pole vault that caldera. Sabancaya is exploding. It's producing a 27,000-foot ash plume. And Villarica now back on the list again. Some active vents occurred at the bottom of the caldera. One small lava pond can be seen in imagery down there in central Chile. Please don't build a campsite on the lower slopes of Villarica. Next, looking at nullschool.net to have a quick look at the jet streams. There are the jet streams of the Western world. Here are the jet streams of the Eastern world. Thanks to our international viewers, this should give you some insight into what your weather will be directly above your head, just at a glance. And we are looking into doing possibly more meteorology videos. So if you've got a weather forecast that you'd like us to do, let us know in the comments. Maybe we'll make a video just for you. Here's what's going on windy.com in terms of pressure cells. The eastern portion of the U.S. dominated by high pressure. And we'll advance this via the GFS forecast into tomorrow, I think. Here's where we expect pressure to be at 12 noon tomorrow. Basically a compression of that high pressure zone, creating a massive pressure gradient around places like Indiana and Illinois. And let me just take a moment to check the life of the stream here. Again, we are streaming live today at YouTube. This one will be a YouTube exclusive. Welcome to the Matrix. It's a YouTube exclusive. Thanks, Sundar Pichai. Next, we'll look at earthquakes. What's been going on in the past 24? Well, I'm going to tell you. No major quakes. One in a weird spot in northern Canada. A deep quake at Japan, which struck at 22:09 Universal Time yesterday. It's a 4.5 magnitude at 137 kilometers. One of the largest of the past 24 was certainly this 5.1 at Vanuatu. Here's an odd one of 2.5 in Colorado. Another deep quake strikes Japan, a 4.7 at 366 kilometers depth. I think the largest of the past 24 was a 5.3 at Indonesia. Also a deep quake strikes Argentina at 4.4 magnitude. And another one at Chile, also at depth very close to the same depth as that Argentinian quake. Those coming in at 6:03 Universal Time and 8:26 Universal Time just a few hours ago. Deep quake at Papua New Guinea and Afghanistan and Alaska, all happening in a matter of only about 15 minutes of each other. So Papua New Guinea, Afghanistan, and Alaska all seeing similarly depth quakes. Similar depth quakes there at 97, 100, 130, and 105 kilometers. And we've seen a lot of lightning here. Global lightning going on. Quite a bit of it. And we are here at lightningmaps.org. It's where I go when I hear thunder. And it will even forecast thunder for you. Check it out. We just saw some off the coast of Portugal. And let's have a quick glance at, I'll just let that run for a minute and bring up the chat. Again, thanks everybody for leaving comments. Thanks for all your hard work, smAsho staff. Please consider becoming a patron or heading to smashomash.com and heading to the Smash store or smAsho store and give smAsho staff a raise. She needs it. And perhaps you need some of our merch. So quite a bit of lightning actually here on a global scale. Let's take a look at the GOES 16 lightning mapper. And we've got a bunch in the North Atlantic there, in places like off the coast of Cape Cod and New Jersey, as well as Caribbean lightning continuing on and on. By the way, that hurricane degraded quickly. It went from a Category 5 to a tropical storm in a matter of a day. Maybe a little more than a day, but pretty close. Here's a U.S. Doppler Radar Map, and Pennsylvania's getting some snow, as well as New York. A bunch of precipitation happening in the Northwest. Here's what's going on in the cloud layer. And we use the NASA GOES Interactive Weather Satellite Shortwave Radiation Map. It's 3.9 nanometers. And there's a great view of the Mid-Atlantic region. And no, those aren't chemtrails. That is caused by an acceleration of winds as they get over the ocean. And it causes a relative pressure drop in this case. As you can see, the flow is going this direction. And as this air makes it to the water, it gets accelerated. Water has a tendency to do that as it is a flat surface, unlike the land. And we're going to show you the way the water vapor is moving here. I'm going to go straight from this to the water vapor map. You may be interested in seeing this, as this is one of those situations where we've got optimal atmospheric conditions. All right. Here's the water vapor map. And you can see quite consistent levels of water vapor there, despite the oddities in the sky. And there's a lot more at play here than just simply thermal processes, let's say. So again, there's the visualization of the cloud layer using shortwave radiation. And here is the water vapor map. And I won't go any further into that, but I will thank our viewers for tuning in and flying American Smashways. I would remind you to keep your head and arms inside the Smash plane at all times. We've got bonus features. It's the colorized magnetogram and the intensitygram and the 94 angstroms 2-day SDO video. Not today, 2 days. So first, here's the colorized magnetogram. Here's the latest on Sunspot 2783. And again, we do see some fields around this. It's something to keep an eye on throughout the day. Here's the latest image of the umbral situation, and it's been quite steady here over the past 24. Last but not least, it's the 94 angstroms 2-day SDO video, 48 hours. And here's the full disk view. We are out. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Remember, stare at the sun, don't drink, and if you do, don't drive. Again, visit our websites. Check out smAsho.com. Check out the merch. It's been updated within the this past weekend. We actually updated some stuff on there, so check out the links at smAsho.com. Check out our smAsho.org presents the sun videos. There are now 4 of them listed on the homepage. Go watch those. Tell your friends and tell your foes. Tell your science noobs and science pros. Lots of stuff going on. Look for more content coming soon. Welcome to the Neo-Renaissance, and may that solar wind be at your back, and that atherosclerosis absent from your arteries.